Hi everyone, welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Divergence Route B, Episode 1, and yes, I could have come up with a better title than that. So anyways, this is where the story begins to split into two distinctive routes, and this route at the end is supposed to lead me to the Orihime route or the Korona route. So anyways, we're at the end of the first light event. If you remember, Akito had work to do before the event started, and he wanted the event to start without him. But to his surprise, everyone, or the leaders, so Orihime, Hikari, Naori, the others, they purposely wait for him to show up. And Akito actually tried to show up late by going really slow up the hill. And it turns out that he was trying to avoid looking through the telescope, or at least being the first person to look through the telescope. But the girls are able to come up with some kind of trick to get him to look at the telescope. And they mentioned that the new Dobson telescope is broken, but it's not broken, it's just out of focus. And the end result was that Akito ended up looking through the telescope, and it was a Christmas present given by everyone. So now that it's other people's turn to look through the telescope, let's see how it goes from here. So I return once again to Earth after my trip through the stars. So, settling down on one of the picnic sheets, I watched everyone else as they watched the stars. So people were gathered around the Pleiades one, but some had also brought their own equipment. Okay, that's good. Well, I wonder how big the other equipment is. So everyone seemed to be enjoying the Christmas Eve sky in their own ways. Oh, so Orihime has something to talk about. So, how is it? So I must have looked upset as she also seemed worried. Well, yeah, of course. So they certainly pulled a fast one over me, but I wasn't upset. So, well, I kind of liked the little trick that these girls came up with. Well, if anything, I should probably thank them. Okay, so Orihime is like, well, I'm sorry, I did trick you, I did lie to you, so... Well, no, don't worry about it. Well, if you hadn't, I probably never would have got up there to use the Pleiades 1. But you know, it's still kind of bad that I lied to you about the problems. Well, I really just wanted to let it all go, but she didn't seem like she would. So maybe we should go to the planetarium then. Well, I want to one way back when I was a kid, but I haven't been to that one down in Harbor Town, so no. Well, I've been thinking about trying to get down there sometime soon, though. So we finished our Pleiades 1 project, so I was sure I could find some time. Let's see. Okay, so Orihime was like, well, let me take you there then. That'll be a good treat from me. Wait, what? So that's kind of odd. So wait, was she asking to go with me? So anything wrong? Nothing, so I'm pretty sure like going with someone like Orihime, that's something out of the comfort zone for Akito. Well, we know, one, Orihime is much older than Akito, and two, she's in a different class than him. She's rich. Akito is living alone in a primitive lifestyle. So she was definitely just offering to do it, to apologize, that was all. But then again, it's a little over the board as an apology. Well, it was best not to take it too seriously. It's like, well, then again, if Orihime's gonna offer it to me, then it's best to just say yes and not hold up any concerns. Well, there was no ulterior motive to your invitation. Okay, that's good too. And if I took it the wrong way, I could set myself up for something embarrassing. Okay, so one more question. Okay, so what's next now? So that was enough to pull me back down from the clouds. So have you figured it out, huh? Well, I was the astronomer who never looks at the stars, but I guess it wasn't really a name that fit me anymore. So now I look at stars, so that's a title that I'm supposed to get rid of now. Well, I had planned to quit once the timing was right. The club at my school and the Six Stars Club too. Well, I could sense that. So that was what Akito mentioned in the very beginning of the story. So I was like, well, I don't want to hurt Orihime and the others, so once I get this club up and running, I'm going to gracefully retire and have the other people take over, and I can happily go off into my own world as a camper, as a mountaineer up the mountains. But then again, that's what Saya doesn't really want to see Akito do. It's like, well, I want him to be, or to get away from that primitive lifestyle, living in the school's club room, using a portable stove, eating instant noodles, all that. So she saw right through me. So even though he didn't tell Orihime what's going to happen to him, Orihime can sense it. Which is, well... But she waited until she was absolutely sure. So what do you want to do now then? And I hope it's not you wanting to quit. Well, you see, well, I probably wasn't supposed to have looked through the Pleiades 1. Well, I knew what would happen if I looked at the stars again. So I had seen the stars, yes. I peeked through the endless expanse of space once again. And just like before, all those emotions had welled up again. There was no turning back from emotions like those. So, tell me, are you going to accept the title of the Akito Solar Army of Maia? So Maia was the first star of the Pleiades cluster, and taking this name would make me the top member of the astronomy club. So Orihime Shiratori of Taigeta, one of the seven sisters of Pleiades. So I will gladly accept the name of Maia. Well then,
引き続き天空に輝く七つ星として我らと共にあの銀河を目指しましょう。そういうことでよかったかしら。
so I think one thing that's interesting is that Orihime is willing to give the highest title to Akito. It's like, well, if you are going to be Maia, then you must be a big supporter of astronomy and such, because Maia is the older sister of the 7 stars of the Pleiades cluster. So, finishing up our little act, she started to smile. And her smiling face had a wonderful little charm to it. Okay, so I look forward to us working together.
こちらこそよろしくお願いしますわ。
Okay. So the magic was over and we were back to normal life. But the whole little play might have been exactly the rise of passage I needed. So the eldest of the Pleiades, huh? But why did I get the name of the eldest of the 7? So, you know, it's kind of putting pressure on me because now I have to be this big support person for everyone if I want to represent as being like the oldest. So Maia was supposed to be the name for the head of the Six Stars Club. But in reality, it's Orihime that's running the Six Stars Club, so... But I guess the whole reason I was looking for meaning in this to begin with was... well, just because of Orihime herself. Okay, so like, well... I'm pretty sure that name is better for Orihime because she's running the whole show, she's running this Six Stars Club, and...
ねえねえ、ひなみ、そろそろ交代して。
So what's going on? It's like, come on. So switch with me.
まだもうちょっとだけ。
Just a little more?
ずるい。さっきからひなみんばっか見てるじゃん。
Oh, so, hey, you're hogging the telescope. I want to see it too. So Korona and her friend were fighting over the binoculars. They must have borrowed them from someone with those. They probably got a completely different look at the stars than from place 1. So the binoculars don't zoom in as much as the telescope, but they can see a whole picture of stars, like a wide angle view. And she notes Akito. So she found me and came running over.
あきにあきにあきに、すっごいね。ほんと星ってすっごいね。
She lashed hard onto me, seemingly unable to handle her excitement. It's like, wow, I saw something great. I know. So let's just settle down, okay? Calm down, Korona.
落ち着いてなんかなれないよ。だって星だよ。もうすんごい綺麗なの。
Wait, why calm down? This is a very incredible sight. Well, I guess you were pretty excited. That's true.
ワクワクした。現在進行形でワクワクしてる。
No, I am still excited. It looked like getting a real look at the stars set something off in her. So where did you get these binoculars? Her friend was lost, staring through them. They were a little clunky looking and equipped with a mount to attach a tripod. Wait, so what kind of binoculars has a mounting port? I'm sure most of the ones that you get, they're meant to be portable.
あれね。コロナたちが待ち時間長すぎるよって言ってたら、なるちゃんが貸してくれたの。
Oh, okay. It's like, well, I see more people waiting for the telescope, so if I want to see something right now, let's use the binoculars. Naru? I'm sure she refers to Narie. I wasn't sure who she was talking about. Oh, come on. Well, she always had nicknames for everyone. And I'm sure the most famous one is Pikarin for Hikari.
なるちゃんはほら、あそこにいるお姉さんだよ。かっこいい感じだけど、すんごく優しいの。
There you go. So, Narie. So her full name is Narie Gino, but I guess Korona just shortened it to Naru. There you go. Well, I guess I could picture her carrying around a pair of binoculars like that. She sure loved her gadgets and always brought a whole bunch with her. So did she teach you how to use them?
簡単にだけどね。三脚も貸してもらったんだけど、めんどくさくなっちゃって。
Okay, it's like, well, she just gave it to us and just kind of gave us a brief instruction on how to use it. But still. So the tripod should make it easier to see things. That's true. But that probably seems a little like a trifling matter to beginners. So they have to set it up and mount it and the such, and they have to get the tripod in the right place without having it easy to fall over. Well, they just wanted to see some stars. So such a simple desire really brought back memories. I was almost jealous.
双眼鏡は友達に取られちゃったから、今はこうして自分の目で見ようかなって。
Okay. So want to look at some stars with me then? So I stood next to her and looked up.
すごいよね。こんなにいっぱい星があるなんて。
So you usually can't see this many back in the light of town. But the stars, they're always there. I could hear other people calling out in admiration. Okay? So someone was enjoying looking up at the stars. I was happy no matter who they were. So way back when I didn't know there were so many stars either. It's like, well, I was like you in the past.
秋にもなの？
Really? So everyone has to start out somewhere, right? Well, I mean, it was quite a few years ago, but still. So I know how you must feel right now, though. So I went through the same thing. Okay?
そっか。秋にも同じなんだ。
So she was going through the same stuff the three of us went through back then. So with Hikari and Saya. So the very thought of that put a smile on her face. So without even looking, I could tell she was happy to finally be catching up. That's good.
ね、あれがオリオン座だよね。
So now she's trying to name the constellations. So her finger pointed towards the Orion's belt, the sort of constellation everyone knows. Yep, so you know your stuff, right?
オリオン座くらい授業で習うもん。このくらいは一般常識だよ。
Well, yeah.
確かベテルギウスとリゲルと、あとは左下の明るい子がシリウスだったっけ？
So let's see. So was that the bright one on the left? So that's that Sirius? Exactly, but Sirius is part of the Canis Major. So not the Orion.
そうだったそうだった。
Well, I'm sure Korona wasn't talking about that. It's like, well, I'm trying to name the stars, not figure out which group it belongs to. So she stuck her tongue out. Okay then, so do you have Or do you know the name of that star up to the left of Sirius?
さっき聞いたと思う。
So let's see if Korona knows. Wait, so someone just told you?
しまった。
It looked like she said something she wasn't supposed to. So I think she got the name wrong.
アキ兄が来る前、でっかい人が解説してくれたんだ。それでいろいろ知ってるってわけ。
Okay, so, well, I just learned these just now, and I forgot some of them. So she was probably talking about Keisuke. Well, no one else could explain things quite as simple and clear.
思い出した。アルデバランだ。
So is it the, Aldebaran? Nope. Wrong. So that's Procyon.
もうちょっと真剣に聞いてればよかった。
Well, then again, no one expects Korona to memorize all those names in one go. Because I'm sure for Keisuke, he also had many years of looking at stars before he could memorize all those names. So I wasn't sure if she hadn't been listening or just uninterested. So Aldebaran is over there, the orangish one off of Orion's left arm.
あれがアルデバランなんだ。
And out beyond Aldebaran, can you see those faint little stars clustered over there?
あ、うん、見えるよ。あれがどうしたの？
So, which ones? So that's the Pleiades cluster. It's called Subaru in Japan. And yes, the vehicle manufacturer Subaru used that as their logo. Once again.
とは、三つら星の。
And that's where the Six Stars Club got its name from. I nodded in response. So the Pleiades aren't really too hard to see, even out in the sky. But it was rare to get the chance to see them like this. And I think it's even more special because they're not using anything to look at it with. So no telescope, no binoculars.
さすがにそれぞれ判別するのは難しいね。
But because they're not using a binocular or telescope, it's hard to see the individual stars in the cluster.
ねえ、アキ兄、コロナのメローペはどれなのかな？
So which is mine? The Merope one. So Merope is, so you can really only make out the first 6 with the naked eye. But actually, it's not Merope that you can't see. Still, it's hard to point it out by just looking. So no one showed you through the Pleiades one?
うん。コロナは詳しくないから、設定してもらったのを見ただけだし。
So it's too hard to point to the stars in the telescope.
メローペ、見れないのかな？
So why don't we try with these binoculars you borrowed?
見れるの？
So will it work then? Of course.
やった！メローペなのにメローペ見たことないんじゃかっこ悪いもんね。ひなみー、メローペ見るよ。だから双眼鏡コロナに貸して。
Oh, so Hinamin still has the binoculars. Okay. So she ran off to get the binoculars back. And I was like that once. So I think Hikari also likes to hog stuff. And I think when they had the little activity or the little group together in the past, Hikari will always be the one that takes up most of the time looking through Akito's telescope. Well, I couldn't wait for night to come and the stars to shine. And when I looked through the telescope, the stars were always there waiting for me. Okay. So close, I felt I could reach out and touch them, but too far away for that to ever be possible. So the astronomer who never looks at stars. If I started watching them again and become a normal club member again, what would happen to me? Would I get those days of the old times back again? Or would my connection with the stars be different this time around? I'm sure it's the latter one that's going to be true. So either way, the stars were always there above me. And they would continue being there forever and ever. Well, until the star dies and it becomes a supernova or a black hole. Okay, so that's the opening for A Sky Full of Stars, the second one. And let's skip that. So I wonder what's going on now. So it was a few days after the stargazing event, and in that time, the Six Stars Club had held a big farewell party for Hikari, who was moving to Southeast Asia. And a few days into the New Year's, Hikari would begin a new life across the seas. It was a big step for her, but I was also beginning a new life of my own. So I wonder what's happening now. So, is it everything? So during the winter break, the club room looked even emptier than usual. In the middle of it, we were preparing for my upcoming move. So where's Akito going to now that he's getting out of this club room as his residence? Yeah, so we're okay. Well, then again, this is your place and, well, it's your club room, and you can always come back to it. Yeah, that's right. So why even so? So Takeichi looked down at my belongings. So I could tell that you were really primitive. You didn't really have much items to carry with. So it'll only take the two of us one trip to carry everything. So yeah, there's not really much stuff that Akito has. So Takeichi was stunned that I really only had this much stuff. So I wonder how many bags Akito has to move out with. Well, it was just a temporary thing anyways. I said that, but what I had here was my entire life. I went to see my relatives once in a while. But my daily existence had revolved around this club room and the stopping by where I worked. So thanks for the 9 months since I started school at Hoshio Daiichi. Okay, so he's only been here for 9 months, not a year. So, in a sense, he didn't really accumulate that much items. So usually if you stay here too much, you start to have more and more items of yours in this place. So I bowed, not to anyone in particular, but to the room. So, well, thank you for letting me live here in this room for most of my time at this school. I was so grateful that I had been able to use the room as a club president though I didn't look at the stars. But more importantly, the school was okay letting Akito do all this. And I'm surprised that no one came to check on the activities of the club room in those 9 months. But anyways, we're out of the club room and now we're in front of Korona, and I wonder what's wrong with her. So when we got off the bus, Korona came flying out of the store. So Korona, so what are you doing here today? Oh, so I want to help you move. Hey, so let me do the moving. I can handle it by myself. I don't need, or like, you don't need to come and help us. Wait, so what does he mean by giving up? What? So, did you wish that I came to help you instead of that Takeichi, my brother? Okay. Well, if I didn't stop, this was going to turn into a full-blown sibling fight. Hey, so why don't you both help then? So how about both of you come and help? Well, I'm sure Takeichi isn't welcome to having Korona help Akito as well. And it's because, well, you're in the way and I'm sure I can do this by myself. Well, fine then. So if Akito says yes, then I have no choice but to accept it. So once again, thank you for letting me stay here. So I wonder where Akito's staying now that he's out of the club room. So from that day on, I will be living in this small tatami room. So I wonder who owns this place. Oh, so I finally found a place to stay on the second floor of the Stop and Buy convenience store. Well, thank you very much. Okay then, so I gotta get back in the store. So in addition to being my employer, she was now also my landlord. And, well then again, well, I knew the store manager from the way back, so my mind was at ease. Well, I hope the store manager isn't looking for something else. Like, well, hopefully you can get together with my daughter, his previous teacher, and hopefully it'll allow her to become more useful than just sitting around waiting for something of a miracle to come. Well, not only was the rent low, it also came with meals, and it was close to both work and the train station. Well, obviously the work because it's just downstairs. So my one concern was that if I wasn't careful, I'd find myself engaged to Miharu-san. There you go. So that's the one thing Akito must be careful of, because I'm pretty sure that's what the store manager is hoping for at some point. So at least this is a decent living space than that club room. So this used to be a storeroom, so they let me use whatever furniture was already in here. But then again, it looks like a proper bedroom with dressers, a bed, a desk, some little storage cubbies. And the futon was too old, so the store manager gave me a new one. Oh, okay. Let's see. So instead of a heater, I had a kotatsu. That was enough for me. So it's all thanks to you two. Well, it wasn't much, but I held out 2 bottles of tea to both of them. I conveniently ignored the fact that the store manager had given them to me. So I wonder, where's everyone else? So where's Hikari? Takeichi asked as if he just remembered. So why is she not here to celebrate the fact that you got a better place to live in? Well, actually, I had count on Hikari and Saya too, and not just Takeichi. So I did have them help me move my stuff as well. But things didn't work out the way I planned. So Hikari's preparing her move as well. And I showed them my phone. So let's see what's on the little chat. The little line chat. There you go. A photo of Hikari cleaning up her room was attached to that message. So Sai went to help Hikari move her items, or prepare to move. So Saya was helping Hikari pack, going by the picture she sent. And it looks like they're getting a better treat. Yeah, so they were holding a stylish teacups and some expensive looking pastries. It made the difference in our positions very clear. Well, I'm sorry that you only got plastic bottles of tea here. So, well, I kind of apologize. So if you went to help Hikari move, you could have gotten better treats in return. Well, I didn't even have any snacks to offer. I wonder if I should get some from the store below. Well, I'm sure they're gonna look cheap compared to hot pastries that Hikari and Saya are enjoying. Well, it's okay, says Takeichi. Well, I was hoping for some better treats. So come on, you can fight and get better treats. Well, even if I wanted to fight back, the chances of winning are 0. But then again, I'm already getting way more than I'm supposed to get for moving here to Saotome, the Saotome residence. So in the first place, I didn't have the resources. Any attempt would just end painfully. Aw, too bad. Well, it is kind of boring though. But there is a way we can fight back and show that we're a better, we can have better things than those girls over there, Hikari and Saya. So some strange switch had been flipped in Takeichi. So these normally bickering siblings were on the same nefarious page for once. Oh, okay. It's like, well... Okay, so Hikari started showing off. Let's get even with them. And what are they gonna do to counter what Hikari and Saya are showing off with? I almost saw a sound effect bubble appear behind Korona as she dashed out.
さてと、こっちはこっちで準備するとしようか。
So what's your plan, Take?
まあまあ、俺に任せとけって。いい感じにしてやっからよ。
Don't worry. I know how to get even with those girls. I have my ways. So just sit back, watch, and you'll be satisfied. I caught a glimpse of the mischievous kid Take used to be. It was going to be an incredible first day of my new life. So I wonder what's his plan, or he's been sitting there for hours with no ideas.
Gorgeous!
So what is it? So bizarrely, the Kusakabe siblings has set up a wine bottle and some glasses. Wait, so are they even old enough to have alcohol? That's gonna be entirely wrong. So the seal had been cut, though no one drank. It gave the impression that we were all drinking. Okay, so we could model it and make Hikari and Saya feel upset. So we're trying to be classy, stylish, that sort of stuff. So what are they doing then? Okay, so pictures. So phone in hand, Korona made me stand next to Takeichi. So that phone, so you finally got one? Okay, so if you remember from the past, Korona was looking at which phone to buy, and it's her first time getting a proper smartphone, and she even had Akito give her some input on which phone is the best. And it looks like she finally bought one. And I hope it's not a very expensive one. Maybe the new iPhone 9? No, iPhone 11. So Korona showed off her shiny new phone. So I think it's probably the iPhone 11 or the 11 Max. And I do remember that the phone had 3 camera lenses on the back. Or maybe it's 1 light and 2 cameras. Well, actually, so it's 1 light and 2 cameras. But then again, Takeichi wants a better phone. He can always get one himself. So Korona's excitement about her new phone was so simple and easy to read. And even Takeichi was at a loss. I can't believe you. Well, come on. So I'm just 1 year younger than you. So I can't believe. So you got your phone 1 year later, and you got all the new features that my phone doesn't have. I'm jealous. So that throwaway line wasn't even worth Takeichi's breath. But hurry up, let's get the picture in so that we can make Hikari and Saya all amazed. So after the photo shoot, Korona started working on her phone right away. So okay, let's get the messages, like the messaging app, all ready to go. Start typing something, start getting that photo attached, and send it. And hurry up and get some responses. So she was writing up a post for the photos. It seemed like she was already pretty good at this stuff. Well? Oh, so I forgot to fill in my contact information. I took out my phone and put it next to Korona's. Okay, so here you go. Here's my information. Just copy it and send me something to test it out. It made a sound to let us know our addresses have been exchanged. Oh, so maybe like the wireless exchange, the IR signal thing. Well, thanks, Korona.
何が末永くだよ。結婚じゃある前に。
So Korona looked particularly happy, obviously.
それじゃあ送るね。
Okay, so now that we're done with all this, let's get the picture sent, and let's see what everyone says about it. And so I received my first message from Korona.
わっはっは、我々の宴を見よう。
Okay, so they're gonna model for the first picture that Korona will send. And I think it's better if it's a video, because, well, you know why. So the image was impossibly surreal. And three of us were standing close and smiling, each holding a plate, a glass of red wine. It was beyond incomprehensible.
なんだよ、アキト。こっちにも送ってくれよ。
Oh, so I want a copy of this. I forwarded the message to Takeichi.
なんだこりゃ。こたつってのがあれだな。
So I feel that the photo isn't perfect. I see that there's some problems. The background isn't nice. It has some other stuff in it that's going to make the photo look pretty bad. So, a tatami room with a kotatsu, no matter how many wine glasses we had, the setting was all wrong. So, well, we gotta decorate the room.
いいから、それをピカリンに送って。
Well, it's enough to make Hikari jealous. Okay then. So Hikari would probably get a kick out of this. So let's see what she says. So I pushed send and we waited for a reply. And I wonder what's going to happen if they get nothing. So it goes silent for hours.
ねえねえ、返事は？
Okay, so the reply. Let's wait. 1, 2, 3.
そんなすぐ来るわけねえだろ。
Well, come on. So I'm sure that Hikari hasn't read the message yet, and you have to let them see it first before they answer. And I'm sure it'll take more time for them to figure out how to respond.
ピカリンなら光の速さで返事してよ。
Well, let's wait a bit longer. So we would just have to wait, though it seemed that the message had been read. Okay, so yes, there's no response.
ピカリン、遅い。
So I wonder if she's using silence as a way to get back at them. Yeah, well, this is definitely slow for her.
アホ臭すぎてスルーしたんじゃねえのか。
Well, then again, it's not all bad. Well, that was a possibility, so I sent it to Saya too, just in case. But even though she read the message, there was no response as well.
こうなったら新しいの取って送ろう。ピカリンが無視できないくらいすごいの。
So, okay, so how about another photo that's going to really get Hikari to respond? So it's going to be hard to outdo that other one. So I can't recall the message because it's already been sent.
じゃあ、アキニーとお兄ちゃんがチューしてるとことか。
Wait, at that point, it's more like Korona trying to play with her phone and showing off. So it's not really much of trying to counter Hikari and Saya's tasty treats and drink.
そんなんできるか、このアホコロナ。
And obviously, Takeichi will not accept that kind of picture.
もう、フリだよ、フリ。
フリーでもごめんだ。やるならてめえがやれ。
But even if it's for show, it'll give people the wrong message, so no.
コロナが？
So blushing, Korona turned to look at me.
コロナ、キスしたことないのよ。
So wait, with me then? But her eyes were locked on my lips. Okay then, so
完了。
okay then, so I guess I have to start somewhere.
何覚悟決めてんだこのマセガキが。
Hey, so don't do that. That's kind of stupid. Takeichi hit Korona with a chop that would have put Hikari to shame.
ピカリのやつより痛い。
Wow, that hurt really bad, more than Picarine's.
足りねえだ。痛くしてやったんだからな。
Well, I want to knock some sense into you because you're getting all crazy again. Takeichi was merciless towards his sister. He must have really given it to her. And then all of a sudden... Okay, so it looks like Hikari finally replied to that message, and unfortunately, this is where I'll end the episode. So, it's quite interesting that Takeichi thought of a really interesting plan to model them drinking the wine, even though they can't really do so legally. And I wonder what kind of response Hikari or Saya gave to that picture. But more importantly, I'm surprised that Akito is able to move here. And if the mother Saotome already had this in mind, well, I think she had it in mind, but she wasn't ready to move him in yet because she had to clean this place up and order all the new furniture for him. And I hope it's not because she's hoping that someday she will marry her daughter, aka Miharu-san, the former teacher for Akito, Takeichi, Hikari, and Saya. And more importantly, I wonder where Orihime is going to come in later in this part of the story, because, like I said before, this route will lead to the Korona route or the Orihime route. And these two girls, they're not really close together compared to Hikari and Saya. But anyways, that's something for us to look at, or for me to look at. And with that in mind, I will see you later.